Friends, a girl was shivering on a road by the beach. Suddenly, a rich man gave her a blanket and tickled her. The girl started laughing. And what happened next? It will blow your mind. So make sure you watch the video till the end because what comes next is going to be amazing. Friends, on that icy New York night, under the shadow of the Brooklyn Bridge, the wind was so sharp it felt like every breath carried a piece of ice straight into your lungs. There were only a few cars on the road. Carter Jameson, a highly successful but work-obsessed architect from Manhattan, was sitting inside his vintage Ford Mustang. He was returning from a big party where he had just received the city's Best Designer Award. He had a check worth millions of dollars in his pocket, but an odd emptiness in his heart. Carter always felt something important was missing from his life. Just then, under the bridge at a deserted pier, his headlights caught a glimpse of a girl. She was wearing a thin, old sweater and trembling badly in the freezing cold. Carter stopped the car. He knew the place could be dangerous at night, but there was a sadness in her eyes that made him stop. He took out his expensive, warm, bright yellow pashmina blanket from the car. "Carter, hey, you shouldn't be here. You'll freeze in this cold." The girl looked up. Her name was Alexis Reese, a struggling musician trying her luck in the city. Her voice trembled slightly. "I'm cold, but I'm okay." Carter sensed she might be homeless or running from something. Without asking anything, he gently placed the blanket on her shoulders. Alexis wrapped it tightly. Her eyes were moist, not like a beggar's, but like someone broken deep inside. Suddenly, Carter remembered something. It was his birthday, but he hadn't celebrated. And he always had a habit of making people laugh, so feeling a bit playful, he lightly tickled her shoulder. And in the very next moment, magic happened on that empty pier. Alexis burst into laughter. Not just any laugh, a loud, full-hearted laugh that cut through the cold darkness. She laughed and laughed until tears of joy rolled down her cheeks. While laughing, she accidentally dropped something she was holding, and that laugh floated across the cold air, traveled under the bridge, and reached two people hiding behind an old truck. They straightened up instantly. Tears filled their eyes. One of them, a slightly bearded man, said to the woman beside him, "She's laughing! The trigger worked!" Both of them rushed toward Carter and Alexis. Carter, startled by Alexis's uncontrollable laughter, thought they might be robbers. The man shouted, "Alexis!" Alexis turned around, her eyes now sparkling with joy. The man was her father, David Reese, and the woman was her mother, Sarah. David hugged Carter tightly, his voice shaky with tears. "Sir, you just performed a miracle." "Carter, what's going on?" David wrapped Alexis in his arms and explained, "Alexis has been in deep depression for 6 months. She went through terrible emotional trauma. She wanted to be a musician, but rejection after rejection broke her completely. She had almost forgotten how to laugh." Sarah picked up the thing Alexis had dropped, a small suicide note, where she had written that she had lost her last bit of hope. Sarah, trembling, told Carter, "We found her, but she wouldn't talk. Her therapist told her that the only thing that made her laugh as a kid was her father's tickling. We thought maybe that could break her emotional wall again. We brought her here because she always said New York's tall buildings and cold winds scared her. We hid far away, waiting to see if a stranger could awaken her light." David wiped his tears. "If she didn't laugh today, we were going to lose her." Carter realized what the blanket and that tiny tickle had done. He had unknowingly pulled a girl back toward life.
His heart, once empty, now felt warm. Alexis looked at Carter, tears of happiness in her eyes. "Thank you. You reminded me of my music, my biggest joy." Carter smiled. "You know, I'm an architect, but I think tonight I created the best design of my life. David invited Carter to dinner, not just as a hero, but as a new part of their family. Alexis held tightly to the yellow pashmina blanket. That night, under the Brooklyn Bridge, Carter learned that real success wasn't in million-dollar checks, but in bringing a true, heartfelt smile to someone's face. The blanket was no longer just a blanket. It had become a symbol of warmth and life. Dinner and the beginning of a new life. That freezing night turned into a warm family dinner. David and Sarah took Carter to a small, cozy Italian restaurant nearby. The yellow shawl was still wrapped around Alexis. During dinner, between laughter and light conversation, Carter got to know her better. She wasn't just a struggling artist. She was a gifted songwriter, her melodies filled with incredible depth. But depression had crushed her confidence. Carter asked, "What's your biggest dream, Alexis?" Her eyes glowed for a moment. Alexis, I want people to hear my music. I want my melodies to echo through New York streets. But I'm scared of the stage. Carter, who never backed down from risks, felt inspired. He had spent his life building structures. Now he wanted to rebuild her confidence. Carter, okay, I'll help you, but on one condition. Alexis, what condition? Carter, sing me a tune, right now. She hesitated, but the warmth of the shawl and the trust in Carter's eyes gave her courage. She hummed a melody, so emotional, so pure, that David and Sarah teared up again. The tune shook Carter from the inside. It filled the emptiness he had carried for years. 2 weeks later, a whirlwind begins. Carter became a storm in Alexis's life, an exciting, inspiring storm. First adventure, he and his architect friends built her a small, cozy home studio inside an old warehouse, a safe space for her creativity. Second adventure, he used his connections to send her demos to big studios, including one powerful record producer, Mr. Griffin. Mr. Griffin listened and said, "The melody has pain, but no fire. It won't survive on stage." It shattered Alexis. Darkness began to swallow her again. But Carter didn't give up. Carter, you laughed because you have fire inside you. Don't let fear define your story. That yellow shawl is your strength, not your weakness. Then Carter took a crazy risk. He booked the iconic Blackbird Jazz Club on a night Mr. Griffin would be there. The club was packed. Alexis trembled backstage, her first live performance. Panic and fear choked her throat. Carter approached her. "I remember your laugh. Bring it out." Then he stepped on stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, Alexis Reese is incredibly talented, but if you want her best performance, you need to do something for me." He made a funny tickling sound. "Gitch gitch?" The crowd burst out laughing. Even Mr. Griffin smiled. Backstage, Alexis was shocked and slightly annoyed, but she couldn't help laughing too. She grabbed the yellow shawl, which was now wrapped around her microphone stand, and stepped onto the stage. As she opened her mouth to sing, a few people playfully made the gitch-gitch sounds again. Alexis laughed, but this time with confidence. She started singing. Her voice had pain, but now that pain had become power. Her song, Bridge of Nights, became the biggest hit of the evening. Mr. Griffin stood up, eyes moist, and immediately called Carter. "That fire! That girl! She's raw, emotional, brilliant! Sign her, now!" After the performance, Alexis hugged Carter with tears of joy. "I can't believe you did that! You embarrassed me like that in public!" Carter smiled. "I didn't embarrass you. I reminded you that your best melody always starts with a real laugh. And this was the greatest architectural design of my life. I built the foundation of your happiness." Alexis handed him the yellow shawl. "Keep it. This is our beginning." Carter checked out, and the suspense that had begun with a shivering girl under the bridge ended as a thrilling love story. Alexis signed with Mr. Griffin. Carter became her manager, and the two spent their lives creating music and spreading laughter across New York City. This story ends with a powerful emotional twist, proving how a blanket and a bit of tickling changed two lives forever. And with that, this video also ends. If you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.